welcome back to my channel Study With Me. Today I'm going to explain Chemistry Standard Level Paper 1 November 2021. If you find this video is helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and let your other friend knows about my channel to support me. And let's get started. What is the number of hydrogen atom in 2 moles of CaHCO32 with Avogadro constants is known? Okay, so to find the number of oxygen atom, that will be N times Avogadro's number. So N will be 2 times 6.02 times 10 to the power 23 times 2, because hydrogen is 2 right here. Therefore, you will get 2.41 times 10 to the power 24. Which statement describes all homogeneous mixtures? As it is homogeneous, so it needs to have the same ratio of the components. Which combination is correct? Okay, so for C6H12, the empirical formula for this can be more simple, which is CH2. The same goes for D. This should be C2H3. Therefore, this one and this one is not the answer. And now we need to check IHD for this. So for B, that will be 2C plus 2 minus H divided by 2. So it will be 12 plus 2 minus 14 divided by 2 will be 0. So the answer will be B. But let's see for C, that will be 2 times 8 plus 2 minus 8 divided by 2. It will be 5. It's wrong. The two containers shown are connected by a valve. What is the total pressure after the valve is open and the two gas samples are allowed to mix at constant temperature? So before mixing, you know the equation PV and RT. So before mixing, PV will be equal to N1 plus N2 RT, because these two will be mixed. All right, so we can just say N1 RT plus N2 RT. That would be also P1 V1 plus P2 V2. All right, so then PV will be equal P1 V1 plus P2 V2. This is after mixing. All right, so if we divide it by V, okay, so that would be V and V. So you get P1 V1 plus P2 V2 divided by V1 plus V2. So you just need to plot the number. 2 times 10 to the power 5 times 4 plus 3 times to the power 5 times 2 plus 4 plus 2. You get 2.3 times 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Consider the mass spectrum of an element. What is the relative atomic mass of this element? That would be 1 times 10 plus 4 times 11 divided by 1 times 4, which is 10.8. How many p orbitals are occupied in a phosphorus atom? Phosphorus is 15 number of atom and electron. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, 3s2, 3p3. We've got 3 orbital here, 1, 2, 3, and this should be 2p6, yeah? And then 3p3. So 6 orbitals are occupied. Which element has the highest metallic character in group 14? It will be Sn, because metallic character increases down a group. When you go down a group, Sn it's below. So when you go down a group, the metallic character increases because atoms get larger. So the outer electron are further from nucleus. There will be a less attraction between the nucleus and the outer electron. This makes it easier for the outer electron to be lost. It means it will promote metallic behavior. Which combination describe the acid-base nature of aluminum and phosphoric oxide? As you guys know, aluminum is amphoteric oxide that it can react with base and acid, and phosphorus comes from non-metal, so non-metal will form acidic oxide, and metal, like group 1 and 2, atoms in group 1 and 2, will form basic oxide. Which molecule has the weakest nitrogen to nitrogen bond? N2, H2, N2H4, and you can answer C, because this one has double and single bond. This N also has double and single bond. Of course, the weakest one is the longest bond, which is single bond. So the answer is C. Number 10, which combination would create the strongest ionic bond? Electrostatic attraction weaker in the large ions than smaller ions. So it favors small radius. And the greater charge on the ion, the stronger ionic bond has the greater electrostatic force. Which compound contains both ionic and covalent bond? If we draw the structure CH3, COO, and A+, this will be covalent. Between these two will be ionic. If it's 3H3COOH, that only covalent or non-metal. K plus and O2 minus ionic, Ca2 plus Cl minus also ionic. The following compounds have similar relative molecular mass. What is the order of increasing boiling point? We've got carboxylic acid, we've got propanol or aldehyde, and we got propanol. So let's draw the structure. So for propanol, and ethanoic acid. Okay, here we've got only dipole-dipole forces. Here we've got dipole, we got dipole-dipole forces, C and O, and also hydrogen bond. Okay, dipole-dipole and hydrogen bond. Here we've got hydrogen bond and dipole-dipole as well. So obviously this one will be lower, the boiling point, lowest. Okay, so we start with the B or C. But is it this ethanoic acid or propanol that has higher boiling point? The answer is ethanoic acid, because why? For dipole attraction, it has C double bond O and then C single bond O. But in this propanol, only C single bond O. Therefore, in terms of dipole-dipole attraction, ethanoic acid is stronger compared to propanol. So the answer is B. Which alcohol is least soluble in water? It's this one, because the chain is so long compared to the other answer, so it becomes non-polar. So it will be least soluble in water, even though there is hydrogen bond, but because of longer change of alkane, it will be a bit difficult or becomes less polar compared to the simpler molecule. Which combustion reaction release the least energy per mole of C3H8? Okay, so we don't really care about this because they are the same for all, and this one as well. So we just need to care about this two. What are left? So that would be 5 double bond O double bond O becomes 6C double bond O because CO2. Okay, and 3. So CO2, 3 times 2, 6. And for this one, 9/2 oxygen becomes 4 C double bond O, C triple bond O. This one will be 4 O double bond O. Okay, let me just 4 O double bond O and 2 C double bond O, 2 C triple bond O. And for this one, 7/2 O double bond O becomes 3 C triple bond O. Okay, so this one will be 5 times 500 becomes 6, so and minus 6 times 800. It's negative 2300. And this one 500, this one 800. Okay, for C double bond O 800, and this one is 1000. So it will be negative 1950. And this one will be 500 and 2 times 800, 2 times 1000. That would be negative 1600. And this one will be 500, 3 times 1000, negative 1550. So this is the least amount. Which equation represents the standard enthalpy of formation of lithium oxide? The reactant must be in their standard state. So it's B. Which statement describes an endothermic reaction? Okay, the answer is A, because bonds broken needs energy, and when energy is absorbed or it's needed, it's endothermic. For B, the enthalpy of the reactants is higher than the enthalpy of the product, so it will be like this. So delta H is negative, it's exothermic. The temperature of the surroundings increases, exothermic. The products are more stable than the reactant. Product more stable than the reactant, again, exothermic. Which instruments would best monitor the rate of this reaction? Cl2, it has yellow greenish color, even though Ki is colorless, but once it is mixed, it will have a color. So colorimeter is suitable to monitor the rate of this reaction because it absorbs a portion of the light to the color intensity. Which combination has the greatest rate of reaction at room temperature? So we need to choose powder because it has bigger surface area, so the reaction is faster. If we calculate the mole, they will have the same amount, which is 0.01, and this one also 0.01. But the difference between these two, with the higher concentration and less volume, so the collision will be higher frequently compared to bigger volume, less concentrate. The equilibrium 2H2 plus N2 produce N2H4 has an equilibrium constant at K at 150 degrees Celsius. As you can see this now, it's reverse with the same coefficient. It means K would be K to the power -1. Which ions are present in an aqueous solution of Na2CO3? First, Na2CO3 will be dissociate, becomes Na plus and CO3 2 minus. And because in aqueous solution, so CO3 2 plus, when it dissolves in the water, it will form HCO3 minus and OH minus. Therefore, three of them are present in the aqueous solution of Na2CO3. What is the conjugate acid of HS minus? When HS minus react with water, it will form OH minus and H2S. Water will donate its proton acting as an acid. HS minus will accept a proton acting as a base. So OH minus will be conjugate base and H2S will be conjugate acid. What is the change in the oxidation state of oxygen? H2O2 is the exceptional hydrogen peroxide where oxygen will be -2 for O2 and -1 for oxygen only. Which statement is correct about the electrolysis of molten lead 2 bromide PbBr2? Okay, electrolysis. Positive will be anode, negative will be cathode. Anode, always oxidation. Cathode, always reduction. And they lose electron, reduction, gain electron. So we have PbBr2. When it dissociates, become Pb2 plus and Cl minus. So Pb2 plus will go to cathode, Cl minus will go to anode. Therefore, Br ions lose, sorry, it's Br, not Cl. So Br, okay, Br will experience oxidation where losing the electron at the anode, which is positive electrode. Consider this Voltaic cell where Cu is more reactive metal than Ag. If it's more reactive, then should be oxidation, right? So if it's oxidation, then it will be at the anode. This one will experience reduction at the cathode. Lose electron, gain electron. Okay? In Voltaic cell, electron movement of electron from anode, which is negative electrode, to cathode, which is positive electrode. So this is the movement of the electron. So Cu2 plus will be produced a lot here because lose electron, and the electron that is flowing from anode to cathode, okay, so it will be a lot electrons right here. So it's 2 negative and this one will be 2 positive because of Cu2 plus is released here. So the concentration of Cu2 plus increases in the solution as it loses electron and electron flow from anode to cathode. So negative ion, okay, so an ion exists to balance the flow of the charge at the cathode, at the anode, sorry. So this one negative, so it goes towards here because this one is 2 positive. All right, so the negative ion will go towards Cu2 plus. So flow of electron from anode to cathode, so from Cu to Ag, and the flow of negative ions in salt bridge towards Cu2 plus, it is 2 positive. What is the name of this substance using IUPAC rules? So if I do calculate, if I check which one is the longest chain, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, so they're the same. So I would just use 1 2 3 4 5. Why from this side, not from this side? Because we have OH. OH should be on the lowest C number, and we have ethyl right here, and it's 5 C, so 2 O, 3 ethyl, and is propentane. Okay, so the answer will be 3 ethyl pentane 2 ol. Which pair of compounds are structural isomers? Propane CnH2n plus 2. Propene CnH2n, no. Propanol, it's CnH2nO. Propanol, CnH2nO. Propan alcohol, CnH2n plus 2O. And for aldehyde, CnH2nO, no. Ester, CnH2nO, but for carboxylic acid is CnH2COOH. So the answer is B. What is the general formula of alkynes? This one is alkane, this one is alkene, this one is alkyne, this one is nothing. What is the slope of the graph? I will choose this one. So that would be m y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. That would be 0.05 minus 0.1 divided by 60 minus 40, which is 0.05 divided by 20, so negative 0.0025. Which graph shows the relationship between the pressure and volume of a sample of a gas at constant temperature? Pressure and volume, if this graph, it should be 1 over V when the temperature is constant. So this one is no. The answer is B. And for C, it's not T constant. For this one, it should be T, and volume, it's constant. The last one, what can be deduced from the mass spectrum CH3, CO, CH2, CH3? Alright, this is ketone. So the number of formula C5H10O with MR86. Therefore, 43 is not the answer. And it is a molecule, is not isotopes. And for the third one, it's actually correct because this will be 43 if you break bond between carbon number 2 and 3. And 43, it has a peak right here. So the answer is C. Okay, so that's all for the explanation. Chemistry Standard Level Paper 1, November 2021. If you find this video is helpful for your exam preparation and revision, don't forget to subscribe and let your other friend knows about my channel to support me. Thank you for watching, and bye.